Hello, Braves fans, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for being part of our family here. Remember to subscribe, leave your comments, please, so you help us to keep growing and to get to our goals this season. It's been an interesting week in the free agency for the Atlanta Braves. Three players coming in after signing Raisel Iglesias so much time ago and trading for uh, Mauricio Dubon. Well, the reality is the Braves are now bringing two guys that are really interesting. Mike Yastrzemski, Mike Yastrzemski, which I think was a bit of a surprise to me, especially knowing that the Braves had to go for a bat for a shortstop, especially for a righty there probably, and the first answer to a player after trading for Mauricio Bon was another outfielder. So maybe looking back into what went on during the 2025 season, the Braves did have a little bit of a lack of options in their bench, right? When you look back, they had Eli White, Fairchild at some point, and then they brought so many guys, and they really never got the chance to play. Because I mean, the outfield you had Profar, Harris, and Acuna that's locked up. In the infield, you had Riley for most of the season. Then Nacho Alvarez took over. In shortstop, well, it was a little bit of a mix, but none of the guys that were in the bench were all. I mean, we're gonna play shortstop. Maybe Luke Williams at some point, but not really. And second base, you had Ozzy Albies until he got injured, which was almost until the end of the year. And then you had Matt Olson playing first base, who played 162 games last year. Then Marcelo Zuna playing DH, and then after uh, the injury took him away, um, but before we had Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin, and then at the end was Drake Baldwin. So not a lot of options coming off the bench late in games. I mean, they did bring Vidal Brujan. They brought guys, right? They tried to make it look like, or at least I think they actually tried to make the team better, but not really. I mean, the team's really struggled, and bringing this guy, I think he's gonna be one of those guys that you know is gonna be there, maybe as a pinch hitter, maybe as a DH. Sometimes he can play in the three outfields, left, right, and center. That's what he did with the Giants and the Royals. He did have a pretty decent second half of the season last year, so that's gonna be interesting for sure. Um, he's that play for the Braves in the system. He just talked about that in the media availability that we had with him minutes ago, or hours ago, because that one was first before the one with Robert Suárez. So for Yastrzemski, for Mike, yeah, 3-2. So for Mike Yastrzemski, he said it was never fun to face Robert Suarez. It was always a grind, and he had to grind to put together good at bats against him. He said that this pitcher strikes fear in the competition, that he's one of the best arms out there, and he's only heard good things about this guy. And it's really easy in Major League Baseball to listen to bad things when a guy is not good, like the bad apple of the team or whatever. This was not the case for Robert Suarez, so he said he's pretty sure he's the real deal. And also, talking about the DH role, Mike Yastrzemski said he's learned how to be active and learn how many swings he needs to be a DH during the game, like to stay active, to stay at the same or at a good point, especially with his heart rate. He did talk about the heart rate and how important that is for a hitter, especially playing as DH, because he said that sometimes he felt like he was playing half of the game because he was not playing on defense, but then he learned how to manage it and he looks forward. And here in the Braves, he's going to have to probably play a lot of DH and maybe some starts in left, right, and center. We'll see what happens. Robert Suarez, a very good signing for the Atlanta Braves. I thought he was going to be a closer. I think he's the closer of the future. I mean, he's not that young, but 35 years old. He still has a lot of years in the majors if he keeps throwing the ball like he is. After a long career in Japan, he came to the United States. 4 years with the Padres. Two of them he spent as a setup or a guy that was not the closer, just building that bridge until you get to the closer there. And then he finally was the closer. In those 2 years, he led the majors with 72 saves. So that's actually pretty impressive. Let me just confirm that once again, real fast. 76 actually. 76 saves in those 2 years. That's top in Major League Baseball. That tells you a little bit of how good Robert Suarez was for the San Diego Padres. So that's going to be a really great arm to, for now, set the table up for Raisel Iglesias. He did say, he was asked about it. We just talked to him. Um, he's excited. He came to the Braves because he thinks, he sees that this is a very competitive team. I mean, the team is always in the playoffs. But last year, he's only heard good things about the team. He does not have a problem with being in the setup. He did have the talk with the Braves front office. He's conscious that Raisel Iglesias is there. He just wants to give what he has to the team for them to be more successful, get more wins. I'm ready to just do whatever is necessary. I'm not worried about the role. That's what um, Robert Suarez said about this opportunity. As long as we all have the same commitment to help the team, we will be fine. We will be okay. Those are some of the words that he said when he was asked about being the setup versus being the closer for the Atlanta Braves starting in his season. Remember, 3 years, 45 million. He's almost doubled what he was gonna get with the Padres if he stayed there a little bit longer. He also talked about Profar, who played with him in the Padres. He said that both Profar and Acuna called him and gave him a welcome message. I mean, and he's happy. He's happy with the decision. My family is happy too. I'm happy with the city, with how competitive they are. I've only heard good things. And also talked about Ronald Acuna Jr. and how proud he is of playing with a guy that comes from Venezuela like him. And we'll see. And playing with a superstar like Ronald Acuna Jr. in this team. I think this is, this second one really surprised me when Antopoulos pulled this one out. I thought of signing Iglesias back, he was going to roll with it. Iglesias was actually very good in the second half of the season. Their problem was more towards the middle innings. Well, besides the starting rotation, which was just full of injuries and a lot of things happened. But besides that, and timely hitting, but almost everything was wrong last year with the Braves. But this one surprised me because I thought they were gonna go first for a shortstop and then build from there. But they did make a move with Dubon, and we'll see if that's gonna be something attached to that move in regards to a hitter besides Yastrzemski, who's not a starter in this team. They do not have a shortstop as of today. Today's shortstop would be Mauricio Dubon, so I'm thinking they still have plenty to consider there. And then, bringing Suarez is actually a bold move, especially because they knew that the Mets were going after a closer. So this move has two sides of it. It's getting stronger in what's your major weakness, and also not allowing the Mets to get Robert Suarez to close games for them. So pretty good move. It looks really interesting right now. The Braves still need a lot of more arms and quality arms to be competitive. This is going to be a tough division. The Mets are going to still be there. The Marlins had a decent season last year. The Nationals have a young core that should be playing better than they had or they did last year. And the Phillies, they're just stacked, and they brought Schwarber back, so they should not have a problem to be competing again next year. So we'll see what happens. Still a lot of moves to make. The Mets also lost Peter Alonso. Brandon Nimmo was traded for Marcus Semien. They didn't get Edwin Diaz. They didn't get Robert Suarez. So they're kind of struggling right now. They're kind of struggling, and those are good news for the Braves, and we'll see what happens um, after this. But very good move, and hopefully more to come for the Atlanta Braves. Please subscribe to our channel. Please let us know what you think about these moves so far for the Atlanta Braves in this offseason. The winter meetings are over in Orlando, and we are ready for Christmas here in Atlanta. It's getting cold, it's getting chilly, it's getting very, very cold, and it's hard to go out there. But if you can do it, there's a lot of beautiful stuff to enjoy. And be ready, because in less than what? In 2 months, yeah, around 2 months, the Braves will report to spring training. Maybe no, maybe before, because pitchers and catchers report. I don't know the exact date. I will have to check it out. But we're just 2 months away. It's not that far away. It's not that much of a time. So hopefully the Braves can make more moves, and we can be here talking about how good that roster looks for the Atlanta Braves going forward. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later in another edition of Chop Talk. Have a good one.